Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dishealth Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Greetings and salutations. How goes it on the Thursday before Tryptophan Overload?
Yes, it goes, my friend, it goes. I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific commenter himself, Zealeus.
It is good to see you in the digital ones and zeros.
But, of course, sorry that we took last week off. Zealeus had other plans, and I was playing basketball, so...
Was that really just last week? Jeez,
yeah.
Time flies.
I know, it's crazy, it's crazy. And then, of course, I had basketball again tonight, which there were a ton of people. There's a ton of teams that are like, hey, Charlie, stick around. You can play at 8. I'm like, nope, I have the Thursday night hangout. Dang it, I've got to go home.
And I assume Thursday will be a no-go due to some other potential thingamadoogers going on in life.
Yes, next Thursday, I would assume that the vast majority of us will be in a food coma around the showtime. I may, if I am conscious, I might pop on, but I don't foresee a show unless Zealeus is dying to do a show. Then I'm sure.
Just pretend you're doing Extra Life again.
Oh, buddy. Which, by the way, I'm not wearing the new Extra Life T-shirt, but I am wearing a Extra Life T-shirt because. As anyone who's done Extra Life knows, if you reach the $200 limit, you get a T-shirt. And I've got quite a few T-shirts. So I'm very happy, and I want to thank everyone out there who has donated. And, of course, at any point until the end of the year, you could still donate to Alter Confusion's Extra Life or your friend's Extra Life. The ability to donate is still available until, I believe, December 31st.
And come January 1st, I'm sure they'd still accept money somewhere.
Well, you just have to open up a new campaign.
I mean, but like Extra Life would still take the money somewhere.
Oh, yes. You could just give it to like the Extra Life Fund instead of to an individual.
Companies start like, I didn't feel like taking your money for the next 3 months. Just come back later.
Sorry, today we've closed everything. No. I'm sure that they'll have a way. Anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the Thursday Hangout. It's a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. At any point during the show, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, topics that you would like for us to cover, please drop it in the chat. If we do unfortunately run out of time, we will add it to the very next show. So without further ado, let's jump into it. And Zealeus, you actually posted something in Discord about a potential Uber package of Warcraft sweetness called the Warcraft Remastered Battle Chest.
It's a cool idea. It's Warcraft 1 and 2, not to be confused with like World of Warcraft, like the old school RTSs with like, yes, my lord. And it could be good. The preview. So Blizzard always does a great job with the preview. Like that's never the issue.
Yes.
And apparently it's a fixed version of Warcraft 3, which Reforged, which everyone knows was a epic disaster.
Yes.
So like on one hand, Warcraft is a great RTS series. It really is.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hold out hope and wait for the reviews to come in, where if it truly is a remastered reskin and they didn't, decrapify it, or actually just super crapify it like they did Warcraft 3, then I will probably get it. But it's definitely, unfortunately, I know we've talked about Blizzard a lot over the last couple of years, but unfortunately, Blizzard has gone from that company that I would have already pre-ordered it to I'm at the point where no, I'm going to wait and see what it is like when it actually comes out. If it is what we all hope it is as fans, I think, then I'll be like, okay, I'm going to get it. Because a remastered version of that's a whole lot of also gameplay if you want to get into it. Yeah. Not even doing multiplayer, because that's the whole thing is the single player campaign alone is a good number of hours for those Warcraft games. Can you play as both the Alliance and Horde? I don't remember.
Yes. Well, at least in 2. I know that because I loved clicking on the Horde characters, and after a while they're like, that tickles. You're making me seasick.
Nice. So yeah, no, it's definitely something that is on my radar screen. But it is definitely a wait and see approach to see what actually comes of it. And who knows? It is kind of funny because it is the furthering of why come out with a new product like Warcraft 4 when we can just reskin all the shit.
Yep.
I mean, that's where we're at in video games. I mean, just look at Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Actually,
What about you? Do you have any interest in the remastered Warcraft series?
I don't know. I mean, I might. I mean, if it doesn't, if they didn't screw it up, I might dip my toe back in that water. I mean, Warcraft 2 was kind of my gateway. I played the crap out of back in the days, ladies and gentlemen. There was this thing called demos that you would have on these CDs that came in from magazines, and I played the crap out of the Warcraft demo, and off an old CD. And I was like, oh, man, I got to go get it. And when I went to the store, they had just released Warcraft 2. And I was like, same difference. Let's do this.
There you go. Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know about you, but I also have zero interest in the online gameplay part of it.
No.
My wrist can't handle those actions per minute anymore that you have to do to be good at those games. So, no, I'm going to be a super casual and play the campaign. I even hope the campaign has like a difficulty level because I want super easy. Because when it comes to RTSs, I'm a turtle player.
Yeah.
I want to build like the greatest freaking kingdom. I know it'll be like 10 times because you restart every time, and I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. But I'm totally a turtle player, which I want to get like all the upgrades, all the buildings. I want to get all the possessed for every stage as part of the fun.
Yep. How about this, Blizzard? How about you just give us back LAN? For these two.
You peasant.
Come on, man. Let's get some LAN parties on. You want to go real nostalgia.
Okay, so here's an interesting question, which we don't know the answer to.
Yeah.
Is Warcraft's, they were offline, right? I mean, obviously you could go to the online, press like online, but they were true offline games.
Yep.
I'm curious if the remastered Warcraft War Chest, if it's going to be like the Diablo series now where it requires you to be online and like, oh, you're online, now you can play single player. Or is it going to be like old school Warcraft where like I load the game and then I like manually be like, no, I'm playing multiplayer, yo.
If they make it online always, I think the collective gaming community should just punch them in the balls.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you think they're going to do?
They're going to make sure that you have an active internet connection to battle.net to do their stupid verification checks.
Yep, 100%. Obviously they've said nothing, but they've gone so far down the road. I just don't see it going on. I mean, it would be good if not. Yeah. I think we'd all be a fan of that, but I just don't see it not going that way. Or it'll be like one of those things where like, you basically have to load battle.net and have your internet connection even launch in the first place.
Yep.
More than likely is what will happen instead of being like its own separate executable.
Yep. It'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, your internet connection is not there. So go back to Windows 3.11 and play some solitaire.
Actually, it'd be really funny if like it loaded the old version at the same time. If you lost internet connection, like it loaded like the old version.
Yeah.
Like this is the offline version with the old graphics.
I'd be okay with that. Just let me play it.
It would always be like a troll kind of entertaining thing, honestly.
Yeah, it would. It would. Speaking of online changes, how about the fact that there has been a huge movement of like developers and designers of especially tabletop games and card games and whatnot, pencil and paper RPGs. They have been leaving what is considered what used to be called Twitter and is now X. They've been leaving in droves and going over to the new kind of thing called BlueSky.
Yes. I know nothing about BlueSky. I've heard of it. That's as much as I can tell you. I'm sure it's great or something. Yay, I guess. I don't know. I really have no opinion. I don't use Twitter. My main issue with Twitter is like the way that conversation chains happen.
Yeah.
Makes absolutely zero sense to me. Like I have no idea how replies like actually flow logically.
Right.
Make no sense to me. And after that happened, I'm like, I'm done with you. So that's why I don't do Twitter personally.
Well, BlueSky looks just like Twitter.
Oh, so I won't be using BlueSky.
Hopefully their conversation chains are better. But
I mean, the problem is any online platform, once it gets to a certain mass, it's gonna shitify itself again. That's just my prediction. And I don't think it's any like malice on the form of BlueSky or anything. That's just to get to a certain, point, and the moderation, and then you get the trolls and you get all of the crazy people coming in. It's just unavoidable at a certain point.
Right, and this is one of the fears that some people are already voicing is that because BlueSky is new, you're getting this tight knit community, but as time goes on and more people move over, because you just sign up for it, there's no gatekeeper that's going to stop you.
And of course, bots are going to take over once they figure out, like, oh, this is where the new money train is.
Yep, exactly.
And they're going to start encroaching on that.
Yep.
That's just kind of where we're at with the internet.
Yes, unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, speaking of like online places for designers to congregate, some people probably know itch.io. It's basically it's a website for you could put your. It's kind of like an alternative to not really Kickstarter, but it's basically indie projects, and you can upload your game. I think you can get funding through there, I believe.
What's it called?
itch.io, itch.io. It's just it's a big indie community and whatnot, but they have put into place the requirement for all creators to disclose AI generated content, and if you do not comply with this, they will de-index all of your stuff.
I'd be curious what the details of what they consider AI created is.
Right.
It's like, when you're coding for a video game and you use ChatGPT to help you on a specific task, is that considered AI generated? Like using Photoshop to crop certain things in a very specific way automatically, is that considered AI? Obviously I've talked about this a number of times. There's a spectrum of AI is kind of how I look at it.
So,
and like, what is that threshold?
So here's a screenshot I just found. It said, please disclose if this project contains content produced by generative AI tools such as LLMs, ChatGPT, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, etc., even if you hand edited it. So,
are there any programmers anymore that don't use ChatGPT?
I believe so.
Even like for assistant, like I'm not saying like your entire code,
right?
But even like, I forgot this minor thing on C++ of how to, I don't know, randomize an array, just for instance. ChatGPT helped me out with you. Like, is that something you need to disclose?
It says,
according to that, yeah.
Right, yeah. But, and it goes like a little bit further. It even goes further. If you say yes, it contains generative AI. It asks what kind of AI generated content is used. Is it graphics? Is it sound? Is it text and dialogue? Or is it code?
Interesting.
Which, if you comply to these, you don't get dinged. It's just, I guess, just so people understand that you didn't do it all by yourself. But as you stated, there's not a lot of people who are doing everything just by themselves. And how about this little twist? Let's say that you outsource, and you get a contractor who does some code or some dialogue for you or some art for you, and they lie and do not tell you that it was AI assisted.
Yeah.
Does the developer get dinged for that? And how do you, how do you deal with that?
I mean, I get it. Like, on one hand, I totally understand them trying to make a transparent, basically storefront for people to be able to use to understand where's the content coming from.
Right.
So I totally get that perspective of it. And I'm sure, behind doors, they probably have the exact same conversations we're having now of, how do you define that and delineate it? Because I do think there are, even like when you narrow it down, like you mentioned, like how do you use it in coding or the text AI or like those things, even then there's certain things. So like probably a good example, I would say, like a lot of people at work now, they use AI like ChatGPT to help write letters. So like, hey, I need to write this letter to a colleague about why they're dipshit.
Yep.
And then ChatGPT will clean that up.
Yep.
It's okay. They use that. So kind of the analogy of this, hey, I have this character and he has to go find the holy grail of swords and it's called Mithril. Can you give me like a starter bullet for finding this?
Yeah.
And that's where it's tricky is like where, what is that broad spectrum of AI? I mean, obviously we want to buy, I know when I go to, Dragon Con, I'm always buying artwork. And one of the reasons is because I'm going on the assumption that when it's an artist there, that they produced themselves.
Right.
If they have some help with, Photoshop, I'm totally cool with that. But it's like the difference between helping and like, was it like that artist we saw, like, I think that's at MomoCon a number of years ago, where they're basically used the equivalent of stable diffusion, taking other people's shit and like basically putting a
filter on it.
Thank you. A filter over it.
Yep.
Like that is obviously not okay.
Right. Obviously.
I think it's that middle ground where it becomes very tricky.
I agree.
Yeah. And I give them props for trying because it's an issue that's not going away. It is with us to stay.
Yeah. All right. The next topic is revolves around the Overwatch. Overwatch 2, of course, is doing some balance changes coming up with their 6v6 stuff. And, of course, balance changes is always a fun topic for individuals who play online games.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, my laptop just decided to die, so this should be fun. I'm trying to get it back to life. There we go. And I somehow. Okay, here we go. So Zealeus would know more about this than I would. No, not technically. I played Paladins. I didn't play Overwatch, but I played Paladins, so I kind of have an understanding of this. But some of the stuff, they're going to have to do, because they're going from 5v5 to 6v6, they have to make changes. And apparently you're seeing some of the changes that they're going to be making. Tank cooldowns are going to be increased. Some heroes will receive nerfs, which, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what nerfs are, Zealeus will explain it to you.
If my sword hits the 1,000 damage a hit right now, a nerf brings it down to 500 damage per hit.
And, of course, if you're lucky, some of the characters will receive buffs, which, of course, your sword hits for 500 damage, and they buff it up to 1,000 damage, so it feels more equal. And they are also going to changes to aim reduce visual clutter, keep soft crowd control. What is self crowd control?
Soft.
Soft.
I think that was like, so you have hard crowd control, which was like when you would be like stunned and you couldn't move at all for like a second.
Gotcha.
And I think soft is where you just get like gently nudged. Like Brigitte had like a shield where she'd hit you with the shield. It would just kind of boop you back. But you don't lose full control over your character. It's just like a momentary thing that happens. And I know near the end of Overwatch, it was like crowd control creep, where basically every character seemed to have another new ability with crowd control, and like playing a game and get a crowd like hard stunned where you can't do anything like isn't fun.
Right.
So that was always an issue of like creep. But the problem is, if a new character gets crowd control, you have to compensate other characters to be able to counter that crowd control. And the easiest way to do it is more crowd control.
Right. And then, of course, surprise, surprise, more balancing of hero power levels. So, the usual.
Well, and the tricky part is because you have like, I don't know how many new characters since Overwatch 6v6.
Right.
So, in theory, they could have gone back to the original stats, but now they have these new tanks, healers, DPS, etc. You also have to bounce around those new people who never had any 66 to even balance around.
So Overwatch 2 currently has 41 heroes.
I have no idea how many we had in Overwatch 1.
Let's see here. How many? Let's see, 41. That can't be right. They have all right, thanks a lot, douchebags. I love this website. It's like, oh yeah, the Overwatch franchise has 41 characters. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I'm talking about what's the difference between the two? Anyways, 30. By the end of Overwatch 1, there were 32. 11 more than before. Sure, why not? There you go. So they're up to 41 from 30, whatever I just said. 32.
7 new, according to ChatGPT, 7 new heroes have been introduced in Overwatch 2.
Okay, well there you go. I don't know, where am I getting these numbers? Who knows? It's a mystery.
Like, that is where I find ChatGPT extremely useful.
Yeah.
It's questions like that. Funny random story.
Yes.
So when I was at Dragon Con last year, still this year, I was chatting with a guy, and he works for, and we're chatting. He's like, "Oh yeah, I work for Stack Overflow." And I'm like, "How are you guys still in business?" Because like nobody I know uses Stack Overflow. They use ChatGPT. And his response is like, "Well, where do you think GPT gets everything from?" I'm like, "Stack Overflow," but Stack Overflow is a pain in the ass to use.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, but in the next month or two, guess what? They're going to attribute everything to ChatGPT to the original source link. You know what I still haven't seen? Attribution links on ChatGPT. Anyways, that's my story of the day.
Good job, Zealeus. Oh, shit, I dropped my pen. Oh, that's okay. I got an extra pen.
I was worried.
Okay, so speaking of Overwatch 2 and basically all the online games, there's this wonderful thing that Zealeus absolutely adores, and that's called season passes.
Oh, jeez.
And there is some good news for Zealeus, and that is Steam is about to ramp up their guidelines and rules are centered around season passes. Steam has updated its policy for season passes, now requiring a clear list of included DLC to offer more transparency for players. Steam mandates refunds for canceled DLC in season passes, providing more clarity and protection for buyers. And there's going to be new rules, maybe put may put small studios in tough spots, requiring complete future DLC plans, potentially limiting flexibility.
Oh, that is an interesting addition. That, like, the transparency and clarity is nice.
Yes.
But kind of forcing also developers to adhere to a timeline, like, that's also tough. I mean,
Yeah.
on one hand, it's nice, but on the other hand, yeah, that is hard because shit happens, and sometimes you realize, like, oh wait, like this DLC is not going to work for whatever reason. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the long term. But I definitely think the clarity and transparency behind, like, battle passes and what they include and all that stuff, like, that is absolutely necessary.
Yes.
Like, any of that ambiguity is definitely no good. So, yeah, I mean, usually anything for the customer that makes it more obvious to us, I would say it's a good thing. I just hope it doesn't adversely affect smaller indie devs in comparison to the bigger devs, who can be probably a little bit more flexible in those deadlines.
Right. I mean,
the
line where it says Steam mandates refunds for canceled DLC and season passes. That I mean,
but at the same time, if you don't release a product, shouldn't it be refunded?
True. But I'm just saying that for a smaller studio, where that money is probably gone.
True.
As soon as someone purchases it, and for the studio to have to basically find that money to then refund all of the people who purchased it, that's got to hurt. Whereas like an EA or Blizzard or whatever, that's just a drop in the effing bucket for them.
Yeah, but if I don't get my product, I should get my money back.
True.
So.
I agree. I just,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I hear you. It's interesting that wasn't already the case, to be honest.
True, but I mean, and of course, as you stated, the one that's really going to hit the indie devs the hardest is going to be the expected release date for each DLC. You can the way that they want it, or what is acceptable, is you could do quarter and year. So you don't have to say in February we're releasing super duper DLC. You could be like, in quarter 3 of 2025, super duper DLC is coming. To give you a little bit of flexibility, but still, as having, many friends in the indie industry and talking and working with smaller studios, sometimes life happens. Sometimes games, the funding disappears and they can't get to do that DLC. I mean, hell, there's a game that I kickstarted. Oh man, let me actually look it up, because they basically restarted the entire project, and they're like, we're gonna help you. We're gonna give you the product. Just hang with us. Versus,
well, while you look at that, it's interesting because one of the big issues with video games has been releasing products before they're ready.
Yep.
And most of the time, fans of that game are like, I would rather the developer wait 6 months to release a good product instead of releasing a broken product that then falls off the face of the earth because nobody wanted to play a broken product.
Yep.
So this is kind of a reverse, where it almost disincentivizes delaying a product. To be fair, like, we're not talking about infinitely delaying and never releasing. Like, we're just saying, like, I think if you're going to really delay the release of the product 6 months or a year, so it's a great product, I really don't think most people are going to have an issue with that. We'd rather that most people I know would rather that happen than put it out too early and it doesn't end well for anyone.
Right. Let's see here. Oh my God. I'm going way too far back. Seriously, how far back is? Okay. So the estimated delivery of this game was November of 2013.
Oh, geez.
Yes.
And it's still in production.
And they they dropped off the face of the earth for, let's see here. 2024. There's that 2024. They like woke up. They disappeared between 2017 and 2023. So 6 years they disappeared.
Wow.
Yep. The name
And now
of the
they're
game,
back?
by the way, just for what it's worth, the name of the game is called Delver's Drop. It is a play as scoundrels attempting to escape ever-shifting dungeons in a stylish physics-based action RPG. For the PC, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android, and Ouya.
Oh, that dates it right there.
yeah.
There you go.
Well, actually, ironically enough, the two digital games that I backed long time ago that still have not come out, they both in their Kickstarter profile have as one of the platforms of choice is the Ouya.
We had such high hopes for that damn thing.
I know. If the creators had only figured out how to market their own dang product.
It was a great. It had a lot of like gamer support.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah,
like it had the support. It had the groundswell at the time. But it's like it came out and then nothing happened ever again.
Exactly. And
yeah, that was just because I mean it would be nice to have like a dedicated gaming console that's not a PCs aren't cheap to build.
Yeah,
and the Xbox and PlayStations are $500 a pop. To have a real gaming system like that.
But the other thing was that the dev kit was in the box, so that as someone who had wanted to dabble into games, you could have literally built something for it. It could have just been an additional platform you could have put. Anyways, sad day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick to thank the individuals who help Alter Confusion be the Alter Confusion that you love and adore. And these, of course, are the friends of the show. And so we're going to start it off by telling you about the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we've got to give, of course, is to the AV Master himself, and that, of course, is Noodle Boy. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next shout out we got to give is to an individual who is actually at my house today to help ease some of the aches and pains of the average day, and of course, sitting in front of a computer desk for way too long. That, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself, and that, of course, is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion. CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. And, of course, the final shout-out we got to give is to the original backer of Alter Confusion. That, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both the development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus, but while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist, Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, at this very moment in time, you've got to be wondering, how do I become a backer, a friend of the show of Alter Confusion? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you this right now. Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the lovers, haters, demigods, gods, interdimensional beings, mummies, vampires, monsters, demons, swamp creatures, werewolves, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight to our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers that you can pledge. They're monthly monthly subscriptions. You have the $1 a month. That's $1 a month or $12 a year. What that gets you is early access to all of our playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in patron-only posts. Now, if you're feeling a little frisky and you want to see your name called out on every single Thursday night hangout, then you go to the $5 tier. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. Not only get everything at the $1 tier, but you gain your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Alter Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Altered Confusion. Now, I know that this has already come to pass, but of course, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to once again shout out that we can proudly say that we have fundraised for Extra Life for 13 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that we raised through Extra Life goes directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion today. All right, so we got a couple last topics here. Let's go with a real fun one, shall we?
Wait, there's fun?
Yes, there is fun. So, you know, when you're gaming and stuff's not going your way and you decide...
Nope, I don't game.
Huh?
Nope, never gamed in a game where it's not going my way.
So, well, there's this fun game that's part of gaming, and it's called the blame game, okay? If you are not playing up to your true potential, you sometimes may find yourself blaming, I don't know, the developers, individuals who've got to be using hacks, or maybe even...
Isn't this just real life?
Huh?
Isn't this just real life, the blame game?
Exactly. Or maybe maybe you are going to blame your internet connection for your shortcomings.
So you're saying I'm blaming everyone but my lack of ability to actually play the game?
Because, of course, that couldn't be the reason why you're getting your ass whooped.
No.
Obviously. Let's be honest. I mean, come on. Zealeus is like the gaming god, okay? There's no reason why he would lose anything.
Even Faker is scared of me. Exactly.
All right, so anyways, there is an individual who... so there's an individual who was playing... Call of Duty, and he lost his shit because he was getting his ass whooped, and he not only he blamed his internet connection, but he didn't. He took a step further. He blamed the owner of the company of the internet connection, and challenged him to a fight.
Oh,
he named a place and a time.
Nice.
And here comes the twist.
Yep.
That millionaire showed up to the place and time.
You know what that reminds me of? It is Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah.
Like, so people don't know, I think it was MTV back in the day. It was kind of like a claymation thing where you have like celebrities. Like, I don't know, I'm just making names up. Like Britney Spears and Pink would fight in like a cage match. It would just be like these like random amalgamation of like popular people, and they'd fight. I would like not real, like claymation. And this reminds me of like, let's just throw them in a death match.
Yeah. So, okay. So first of all, let me say that this happened in France, okay? So French people apparently, or French billionaires apparently built differently than some other billionaires.
Sure, why not?
So the gamer who goes by the tag Jimmy BLLT,
Now I want to BLT
on X, previously known as Twitter. Basically, I'm going to just give you, I'm not going to say the French, I'm just going to give you the English translation.
Well, you took French, you can do it.
I'm not going to say this in French, okay? Because one, I'm not secure enough in my accent, and two, I don't want to butcher any of the words. So, anyways, the English translation of this tweet, or X, do we still call them tweets, even though it's no longer Twitter?
Are they my exes?
Yes, my ex post. Anyways, so the English roughly translates to Xavier Niel, who is the billionaire. I hate you. I propose a 1v1 in front of the Lidl on Rue Saint in Marseille, which is a city in France.
Sure.
And
in the billionaire
Xavier Niel showed up and posted a reply with him, a video reply with him standing in front of the Lidl saying, "Where are you at?"
So the real question is, did they fight?
I don't think so.
It's disappointing. You had me so excited, and then you just killed my hopes and dreams of fighting a billionaire.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So what if we posted the same thing to the Comcast owner? Do you think that they would come and fight us?
Where's Comcast out of?
Hell if I know.
I'm going to Google this. Where Comcast home office.
Well, the original one is actually at the Battery.
They're in Pennsylvania.
But I'm just saying we could go to the Battery and go like kind of the Warrior style and take on their regional headquarters here.
Who is the CEO of Comcast?
They get their address. Go look at LinkedIn, see where they live.
Brian L. Roberts.
Oh.
All right, Brian, I'm calling you out, man.
He sounds like somebody who would have been in Braveheart.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Lord of the Roberts.
Exactly. Oh, I recognize that building at the Battery. Okay.
No, but seriously, the billionaire posted the video and a message saying, "Where are you?" I said, "No, I'm waiting for you."
I can appreciate that.
I gotta give this guy props. That's pretty damn good.
I wonder if the guy's internet still sucks, or if he just sucks.
Yeah, I know. Ooh. He even went further. He's like, "Where are you? Come on. Do you want to meet in the car park?" Dude.
He got called out.
Yeah. He chickened out. He explained that his original tweet was prompted by losing his temper to really bad lag.
Oh, yeah.
And then he said that he also wouldn't have been able to make it because he was suffering a stomach bug and a headache.
See, you could have got the billionaire sick.
And then he tweeted to the billionaire, "Sorry, I give up."
Fair enough.
That's pretty cool.
I always give up when it comes to fighting.
Yeah. Interesting. How interesting. So, the final story I've got here is about our favorite, everyone's favorite fund-raising game that has been raising funds forever. It was once upon a time in Kickstarter, and of course canceled it, went over to their own thing, and has been in some kind of development something for how long?
Purgatory?
It's not, is it really purgatory? I mean, technically they've released stuff. I mean,
but it's not really golden, and there's actually a product. So I would call it purgatory. It's just kind of there.
I mean, let's see here. Hold on. Let me see. When the
What
hell
news
did I? When did I? Let's see when I first pledged for that thing. Does it even show?
10 years ago.
Probably, for all I know. I don't even think it's on here. I
Back
think
in the day.
removed it. Anyways, the game, of course, that I am talking about is Star Citizen. And there's some news from Star Citizen. And that is that they are about to release their 4.0 release.
What?
And
is it 4 times the awesomeness?
Yes, 4 times the awesomeness. And it's so awesome. How awesome is it, Charlie? It's so awesome that this release will do an entire player wipe.
Oh.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Yay!
all of your acquisitions and stats for Star Citizen, which will also reset your reputation, your wallets, and items for major system adjustments. And so they're doing this because they want to give everyone they want to work with cleaner data.
Yeah. Well, which makes sense. I get clean data, but for a game that's been out that long, yeah.
Let's see here. Let's just see. The Kickstarter was September 2012.
Yeah, I was looking online. I was looking for that.
So it is still in something.
It's still being kickstarted. And I love it because, like, you look at the estimated delivery dates, November 2014.
Yep. Yeah, they're still not they're not there yet.
But they're so close.
They may,
right?
Oh yeah, it's just a couple million miles away.
I love how their original Kickstarter was, $500,000 was their original goal.
And as of September 2022, they had broken the $500 million mark. And they're still not done.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So the question is, will we ever see a
full version? Probably
a full version of Star Citizen, or is it going to always be considered like basically in progress?
It's the new Gmail, baby. Always in beta.
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, at some point I'll have to scrounge up all of my information and try to download it again. And
didn't you play it at one time?
I tried.
You tried for, I think, one of the extra lives. I think I remember you tried to boot it up.
I tried to boot it up, but the lag was so bad that I literally couldn't walk through a room without it crashing.
I'll see. Now that they're doing the character wipe of everybody, it's going to free and clean the data,
obviously,
to reduce that lag.
I mean, because oh my God, there was so much data that I accrued through my however many minutes I played.
You played too many minutes. You met your quota.
Exactly. Now, of course, their official. They're still considering an alpha 4.0.
Oh, it's still considered alpha. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's going to be 40 years.
Yeah.
Because at some point, they're going to do an engine overhaul because the graphics are going to be too outdated.
Oh, so it's the new Duke Nukem.
Oh, jeez.
Actually, they're about to surpass Duke Nukem, aren't they? Duke Nukem was 13 years, 12 years.
Yeah, but like the difference is like Duke Nukem wasn't, I think, in full like production the whole time. You know what I mean? Like it changed and stuff, but it wasn't like this.
Well, I mean, they was early on. They kept every single they would get really really far and then they would stop and then a new graphics engine would come out and they would decide, you know what, this would make Duke Nukem even better. Let's restart it. And then they would have to like scrap 80-90% of it and then install the new engine and then rinse and repeat that. Just for Sandy's sake, Duke Nukem Forever. Where are you? It was in development.
So supposedly, according to the always reliable Reddit, they have over 1,000 developers for the game.
For Star Citizen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, they at one point at their most bloated, they had like 4 satellite studios. One was working on planets. One was working on languages, alien languages. One was working on star combat. I mean, and then they've of course have shrunk severely since their bloatedness.
Nobody's ever heard of MVP before.
Anyways,
like get a product out there. It's fine, like if it's a perpetually always in progress game, basically an MMO.
Yeah.
But because you look at how games like Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, and Guild Wars all those started.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah.
And they built over time, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But like, get a base game in place first that's actually fully playable, and then go wild with your shit. Right. But like, it's kind of the old thing. It's like they're trying to do 800 things well, which means you're doing like 600 things mediocre.
Right. I mean, the point where I had decided to finally install Star Citizen, you had just had the ability to walk in a hallway.
Woo.
The first big release was you got to walk around your hangar and you could see your starships. And I think your pilot locker, I think, maybe, I don't know. And I apparently have like an exclusive starship from the beginning because I actually, I believe, pledged $125 long time ago.
So what I'm actually hearing through all of this, Star Citizen is actually the perfect company to work at and literally do nothing.
For however long you can last, because it fluctuates like a mofo.
Well, I guess that's all development companies for video games, probably.
Yeah, that's true. But I would think that you would have more job security not in a different company than this one, because God only knows.
I mean, but you look at their finances, and they keep on raising money, like millions of dollars somehow.
I know.
Like, I agree. Like, yes, you're right. In theory, there should be no jobs left at Star Citizen because of the lack of product to release. So, yes, you're right. In that regard, being employed there is probably not great. But somehow, they just keep on making millions of dollars.
Yep.
Somehow. Like, it is pretty insane when you think about it. I don't know if it's maybe like secretly like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, or some random billionaire is just like funding it as like their weird pet project, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's actually a simulator for star exploration. NASA's actually backing it.
Okay, Ender's Game.
Yep. Has Ender's Game come to real life? Anyways.
I just want the freaking holodeck before I die.
Yeah, let's do that.
Is that too much to ask?
With safety features, please.
Or, I could just go participate in, what the hell is it called? Right there, solo leveling.
Oh, yeah, solo leveling. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm on book 5.
Yeah, sweet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have reached the end of our show. So, without further ado, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Fusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything out of our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back soon with another Ultra Fusion Thursday Night Hangout. Zealeus, Mike. Your mic, Zealeus.
Thank you for talking so slowly there so I can go over my cough.
Exactly.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.